Hey everybody, Alan Weber here in the mayor's office, wearing a mask. The reason is very simple. While I will take it off in a second because I'm indoors and safe, it's important for everybody when you go out to wear a mask or some kind of a face covering. We're at a critical point in the disease and trying to stop its spread, and we've all heard from the governor and from the CDC, we should all act as if we have the virus. Don't touch your face, do wash your hands, do use lots of sanitizer, and a mask helps. So if you go out, cover your face. It's not something to be ashamed of, it's nothing weird, it's nothing odd. It is the way we should all take this thing very seriously. So I have a mask. People in city government who are working around at the Midtown shelter have masks. I think if you can cover your face at all, it will protect you and it will send the signal to all your friends, people you encounter if you're out doing an essential errand, going to the grocery store, going to the pharmacy. Wear a mask, stay healthy. If you have to go out, take precautions. When you get home, wash your hands and stay home as much as you can. Now, a couple things I want to bring to your attention today. Number one, on top of wearing the mask, remember that social distancing and staying at home is still the order of the day. I've been getting reports from people who send me photographs or emails that there are groups of people gathering in our parks, young people having pickup basketball games, other folks having a party. That's not going to help stop the spread. That's going to spread the virus, not interrupt the spread of the virus. So if you are a young person, please stay home. If you're an auntie or an uncle, grandma, grandpa, you've got young people in your family and they want to go out and get together with their friends, you have to tell them this is not a time for getting together with friends unless it's 5 or fewer and everybody stays 6 feet apart. This is serious business. We're about to see, if the statistics and the data are correct, an increase in the number of positive cases. Over the weekend, the advice I kept hearing from newspapers and on the web was every person should act as if you already have the virus, because you don't know. It's because you're asymptomatic, you don't have a fever or a cough. That doesn't mean you're not either haven't been exposed to it or may have it without the symptoms. So if we all act as if we have the virus, we will all be extra careful in how we handle our touching our face, washing our hands, staying home, practicing social distance. And remember, the point is not to feel like you're stuck at home. The point is to remember that you are safe at home and to stay there to the greatest extent possible. So I'm reminding you to remind your family, remind your young people, this is not a time to go out and take a chance. Even if the young person feels healthy, they could bring something back home and infect an entire family of older people, and that could have very serious consequences. Second thing I want to talk about briefly is an emergency proclamation that I put out, an order involving supermarkets, grocery stores, and our farmers market. Now, the fact is we owe our grocery store operators and all the people who work there, the employees, a huge debt of gratitude. They are the equivalent of frontline workers in this public health emergency. They are seeing all of us come through there to get our essential groceries, our food, our supplies, and they're there for hours at a time, and we need to thank them, and then we need to help them stay safe and be able to go back to work the next day confident that their health has not been compromised. So for that reason, I've put out an order. It's up on the city's website. I'll tell you some of the things that it says. First, it says that the city will not penalize the use of single-use plastic bags, nor will we require the collection of the 10-cent bag fee while we're in this emergency health situation. We will not permit customers to bring their own reusable bags from home. and we will ask the stores to provide, without charge, recyclable paper bags, compostable plastic bags, or single-use plastic bags so we can all stay safe. We're asking the stores to provide access to hand washing facilities and break time for their employees to wash their hands. We're saying that stores should provide customers access to restrooms to wash their own hands if they can do it without causing risk to customers or the employees. We want stores to disinfect the handles of shopping carts and baskets in between uses, or provide customers access to disinfecting options at the point of entry. We want wipes available. If they are available, we want them made available at cash registers and other high touch points in the store. We want stores to provide, as they are available, alcohol-based sanitizers in the store for customers to use. We'd like stores to implement procedures to sanitize frequent touch points. We want stores to discontinue all self-service salad bars, all self-service food stations, including bulk food stations, and no more product tasting or sampling stands. We want stores to designate employees or use management personnel to ensure that the stores follow the Center for Disease Control's cleaning guidelines, implement procedures to ensure that customers and employees remain at least 6 feet apart, including social distancing lines that begin 6 feet from checkout counters, and we want stores to monitor social distancing inside the store to assist customers so they can stay 6 feet apart. We are telling stores to meter the number of customers in the store at any one time, limiting the number to no more than 30% of the facility's listed fire capacity, or a number that allows for a 6-foot radius between all customers when considering the infrastructure in the facilities. And we'd like the stores to designate staff or management personnel or contractors to keep count of the numbers of customers who are entering and leaving the store so we can enforce those limits. We're telling stores to mark off 6-foot distances between waiting spaces where lines form both inside and outside of the store. We're telling stores to provide exclusive hours for self-identified high-risk populations, and during those hours to limit the entrances to 25% of the maximum occupancy levels. And we are telling stores to permit their employees who are encountering customers all day long, permit their employees to wear masks and gloves if the employees wish to do so. I'm also advising the grocery stores to take some other steps that are voluntary, but which I would advise them to consider. First, if the layout of the store permits it, I'd like to see the stores implement one-way routing in their aisles so that customers will all be going the same direction in that aisle rather than having customers pass each other and potentially give each other coronavirus. If it's all feasible, I'd like to see the stores implement plexiglass shields at high volume customer-employee points of contact, such as checkout stations. We'd like to see stores, if they can, offer curbside and home delivery, and we're encouraging stores to think for themselves of innovative and reasonable ways to take additional steps that will enforce social distancing. At the same time, I'm advising customers to take some actions that will help keep us all safe. First, limit the number of persons from a household who visit a supermarket or a grocery store to as few as possible. If you can, make it no more than 2 people. I understand that sometimes it's a mom and a kid, sometimes it's 2 older people who want to go together. If you can limit it to 2 per person, it'll help reduce the number of people congregating in the stores. Second, limit the number of trips to the grocery stores and supermarkets to as few as possible, and if possible, no more than once per week, considering the size of your family, the household, how much storage capacity you have at home, and other factors. But the fewer trips each of us makes, the better off we'll all be. Please don't hoard items. Think of other people. Think of people coming behind you who need the same kinds of supplies that you need. I'm assured by our grocery stores and supermarkets the supply of food and other products will be ongoing. There will be enough for everybody, so please don't buy more than 2 weeks of food or other products at a time. Leave something for the people coming after you. If the grocery store or supermarket has not already done so, please wipe down the shopping cart when you arrive and when you leave, using disinfecting wipes if they're available. Before you go out, wash your hands. When you come home, wash your hands again. Observe proper social distancing. Keep 6 feet between you and other shoppers. Wear masks and gloves if you can inside the grocery stores, and cooperate with the instructions you get from the grocery stores and the supermarkets. They're trying to help keep us all safe and keep us from spreading the coronavirus. So that went out this morning at 10 in the morning. It's in place and in effect now. You can read it for yourself on the city's website. Please take a look, get up to speed, see what we're trying to do here. It's all about reducing the spread of the coronavirus, flattening the curve. If you need to go out on an essential trip for groceries, follow these directions to the best of your ability. Don't go frequently, go infrequently. Don't go in a group, go by yourself. Buy 2 weeks worth of groceries, not a month's worth. Conserve other people's options, be generous, wipe down the surfaces, wash your hands, practice social distancing. The last thing I wanted to talk about for 1 minute was a very, I thought, really thoughtful article that was in the paper on Sunday. Talked about, the title of the article was "There is an Antidote to Our Fear." It was written by a fellow named Elliot Ackerman, who was in the military and writes about his experiences as he was preparing to lead troops into battle at Fallujah. He said, wartime leadership involves 2 things. The first is steely honesty in the face of grim facts, the real facts of life. The troops respected their leaders when they told them the grim, true, honest facts. And I think we're very fortunate here in New Mexico to have a leader like our governor who tells it like it is, that we all need to practice social distancing if we want to break the back of the coronavirus. The statistics are posted every day on the Department of Health website about what's going on in New Mexico, what our current test rate is and how many positives we're experiencing, and tragically how many deaths we're experiencing. There's no attempt to sugarcoat the pill. So you have got to have a leader like we have in our governor who is willing to give you the grim facts of life. The second component of wartime leadership is affirming the capabilities of those you lead. And here again, it's essential that we know who we can depend on. And here in New Mexico, we are so fortunate. We can depend on the governor and the Department of Health. We can depend on our hospital people, our frontline healthcare workers. We can depend on our public safety leaders, our sheriff, our police chief, our fire chief, and all the men and women who work as first responders. We can depend on those who are serving us in other capacities, offering guidance and leadership. But most important, I think we can depend on each other. This is a community that is built on resilience, it is built on compassion, it is built on faith, and it is built on decades and decades and decades of a deep-rooted sense of community. So what we can depend on as we face down the coronavirus is each other. We can depend on each other to do the right thing, to wear a face mask when we go out in public, to wash our hands, to practice social distancing, to talk to our young people about the need for them to be careful and not to think that they're somehow immune from this disease. We are in this together, and there is no better place to go through a crisis of healthcare, a crisis of public health emergency, and now the crisis of economic aftermath than right here in Santa Fe, New Mexico, where people have for a long time, for decades, for generations, for hundreds of years, taken care of each other, looked after each other, stood together, and been able to get through things together. We're going to get through this. We're going to look after each other. We're going to depend on each other. We will come out stronger than we went into it. We'll practice new innovations. We'll find new solutions to old problems. And when we're done, Santa Fe will be stronger than ever. In the meantime, stay safe, stay home, practice social distancing, wash your hands, take care of each other, take care of our community, take care of your family. I'll see you tomorrow with another update. Thanks for watching.